Hey guys, it's Yalan here. With last year's release of a new Yakuza game, I got some motivation to go back into the Yakuza universe and rewatch and replay some earlier games. And it gave me an idea to redesign Yakuza characters in samurai era garb. Huh? Yes, Yakuza Ishin. Well, hey, I didn't know about the existence till halfway through making this video. So, I guess now this video is just gonna be me redesigning the Yakuza Ishin designs. Also, as a preface, I am not someone who knows of Japanese culture or history very well, but I tried my best to research about the designs and the outfits used. I would love to know your opinions about these designs and what you would do differently. So, without further ado, let's get started on these designs. For my first redesign, I wanted to do Kiryu, our main protagonist of the game. In the game, Kiryu is like a big-hearted fool that just wants to do the right thing. He's just this really tough guy that uses fighting as a way to resolve solutions. Well, like most of the characters in these games, I guess. I think my favorite moments are the side quests, where we get to see his personality bloom, where we see a softer and more innocent side of him. For my design, I knew right away I wanted to redraw him as a classic samurai in their full regalia. So I went off to research what exactly I wanted him to wear. What I didn't expect was how much research I was gonna have to do, as I spent about 2 full days just reading and taking notes about what is historically accurate. This includes the other characters as well, by the way. After all that reading, I decided to have him in a more toned down version of the traditional full armor set, as in the games he doesn't have too much power or rank. I also didn't want to give him a helmet and mask for this drawing, as I wanted to show his face as well. As I was designing this outfit, I just kept imagining Kiryu going off to war, scooping up innocent bystanders to safety in like one hand and slashing people down in the other. Ugh, dude, it just got me so excited about this drawing. For the colors that I'm choosing, I wanted them to be based off of the original modern game clothing that he has. So in the game, you can see in the picture right there, he wears a silver suit with a deep red undershirt. And as I was trying to go for a semi-realistic design, I didn't want to have his whole armor set and clothes be white. The reason for that is that I was looking through a bunch of historical images in museums and on Google itself, and it seems like only like very high-ranking people, samurais, seems to have a very fancy, colorful armor, and none of them had much white in the design, like a huge patches of white in their designs. I did end up giving him a Jimbari vest with a white outside and a red lining on the inside. So Jimbaris were these samurai vests that were worn by high-ranking samurais. So it doesn't really fit his role in the games perfectly, but I felt like I needed to have a nod to his iconic silver and red suit. To make it more balanced, I added red on not only the inner lining of the vest, but also the collar and also the shin guards of his armor. I felt like for his Jimbari, I didn't want to give him a very fancy, decorative pattern one. If you look online, a lot of the ones that are kept in museums nowadays have very fine patterning and silks and metallic colors. I wanted to give a nod to that by adding these gold elements to the sides of it, to the corners of it. But I decided to keep it simple, as Kiryu, a very simple man. And after finagling with it a little bit more by adding some shading and some highlights, I'm quite happy with the final outcome of his design. I feel like it reflects very much who Kiryu is as a character, and something that I am quite proud of. Please let me know what you think of this design down in the comments. And now on to the next one. For my next redesign, I decided to do one of my all-time favorite characters, and I'm sure a lot of people's favorite characters, Goro Majima. Majima as a character, I feel like is a very well-balanced contrast to Kiryu. Throughout the Yakuza series, Majima is known as the mad dog of Shimano. He has his own patriarch family and is a character that plays by its own rules. I think for Majima, my favorite scenes and events with him are ones where he drops his mad dog act and just becomes his serious self. Because through that you can see that he is not crazy and like not thinking things through. He is a very smart person that chose to act the way that he does to throw people off. In most of the Yakuza games, Majima is someone who has a high-ranking position with his own family and everything. I felt that it's only right to give him an outfit that reflects his position and personality. While I gave Kiryu a very serious military outfit, I gave Majima the casual equivalent of the samurai uniform, quote-unquote uniform, because I felt like Majima's personality would be one where he wants to do the unexpected. So I imagine him wearing his casual outfits compared to more military outfits that Kiryu has. For his design, I gave him a kataginu, which is this triangular shaped vest that he wears to kind of mimic his jacket, his very sharp-shouldered jacket that he wears. I also gave it similar colors to his original jacket to have that consistent character design. Majima's hair is one of those things that works really well in this samurai era, given the fact that he has these side parts and you can very easily put a top knot right behind that. I'm actually really happy with the way his hair came out, because I was struggling a bit with Kiryu's hair. He has this slicked back, poofy look to his hair, and it was a struggle to try to figure out how to make that more, I guess the word is traditional. When I first started coming up with Majima's design, I wanted him to have a fan that mimics the design of his dagger. But I decided to just keep the short sword in and have the fan as a separate object in itself, because having a short sword would make sense in this era. Here you can see me trying to fiddle with a family crest. And I decided to first do one where it's just his modern crest with the arrows without the words. And I also tried a few other versions with using the snake design of the eye patch. But I ended up going with the original 3-arrow design because it matched really well with traditional samurai crests, where they're all very symmetrical and shape heavy. The final design of Majima's character, I also gave his triangular vest a pattern to match more with modern jacket design. And I feel like if I were to have left it just a simple color, I felt like it wouldn't match with the flashy side of his personality. I'm really happy with the outcome of this design as well. I feel like it fits his personality and really shows off without saying too much. And I would really love to know what your thoughts on this design are and your opinions about the changes that I made. For my final design, I decided to do Haruka. She is such a loving girl, and I love so much to see the transition and her growth, not just in her physical appearance, but also just her personality as well. You can see that she's a really stable force in Kiryu's life and a really helpful and smart child. Because of the fact that Haruka is growing throughout the story, I decided to redesign her in the Yakuza 3 era, where she and Kiryu work together to manage the orphanage. When I was researching ideas for what she should look like and the outfits that she would be wearing, I found these images of teenagers her age with their siblings on their back. And I felt like that really represents what Haruka's character is in Yakuza 3. As a support and someone who cares and takes care of the people and family that she has. For her design, I decided to give her the same colors that she uses in her modern design as well. I noticed that her color palette is similar to what Kiryu has to represent their familial relationship with each other. So I decided to stick with the red and silver gray colors by giving her a red kimono and a gray-white apron. As a final little touch, I also gave her kimono a very simple pattern. I feel like that works with this design, as she is I imagine her to be a lower class worker and who doesn't have the money and the power to have very fancy, rich fabrics. I'm really happy with the design that I made for Haruka, because it was one of those designs that I didn't have to think too much about, and I knew right away, once I started, what I wanted it to look like and the elements of her design. I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments about this as well. As an extra special bonus, I decided to wrap everything up with an illustrated scene to really set them in their time. In the remake of Yakuza Kiwami, Majima plays a really big role in the side quest where he would be popping up everywhere to try to fight Kiryu. And I wanted to represent that dynamic in this drawing where Kiryu is just relaxing at a bar and Majima just barges in after suddenly seeing Kiryu here. I decided to add Haruka as a waiters there because I feel like in that day and age, most children will be working alongside their parents, or I guess if not parents, just working to earn money for themselves as well. I did remove the child from Haruka's back because I wasn't sure if, as she's working here at this restaurant, she'd have the child with her. Because I imagine in her orphanage, she would have other kids care of the younger ones as well. Here's the final image. I'm really happy with the way this came out as well. I hope you like the designs that I made today. I personally do. I would love to know your opinions once more about all the designs in the comments below. And once more, here are the 3 designs that I redone for, I guess, Yakuza Ishin. Well, thank you so much. Stay hydrated, eat your food, take your meds, go out and exercise, and have a wonderful day.